Listen closely, because one day, without any warning, your body may still be alive while your life quietly starts slipping away around you. I'm 84 years old, and over the past decade I've watched two very different groups of people grow older. Some reach their 80s and still laugh from the belly, cook their own meals, drive to the grocery store, remember birthdays, and wake up each morning feeling connected to the world around them. Others begin fading long before they ever die. Their world gets smaller, their body becomes weaker, their voice grows quieter. And the unsettling truth is that most of this decline doesn't begin with a major illness. It starts with small daily habits that seem completely harmless. My name is Henry, I'm 84 years old, and today I want to share 6 simple habits I've noticed in older adults who remain mentally sharp, emotionally engaged, and physically independent well into their 80s. Researchers sometimes call them superagers, but honestly they don't look extraordinary. They're not running marathons. They're not taking miracle supplements. Most of them are simply protecting a few everyday routines that quietly keep their mind, body, and spirit connected to life. And here's what most people never realize. The habits that damage healthy aging rarely look dangerous in the beginning. Aging doesn't usually fall apart overnight. It slowly leaks away through neglected routines. Before we continue, if staying independent after 70 matters to you, take a moment to like this video. Many people don't realize they're losing their freedom until someone else notices it before they do. Let's start with the first habit, and to be honest, this one changed my life more than I ever expected. People who age well after 75 get exposed to natural morning light as soon as they wake up, before television, before the news, before sitting alone with anxious thoughts. They open the curtains, they step outside, they let daylight reach their eyes. A few years ago, after my wife Eleanor passed away, I slipped into a routine I didn't recognize at first. I started waking up later. I kept the curtains closed. The house stayed dark until nearly noon. Some mornings I'd sit alone scrolling through headlines while sipping cold coffee in my bathrobe, barely speaking to anyone. Because many older adults aren't physically exhausted at first. They're emotionally drained, and emotional fatigue often arrives long before physical weakness does. The third habit may be the most overlooked of all. People who age well keep finding small reasons to leave the house, not because they have to, because they understand what happens when they stop. A neighbor of mine, Frank, retired at 72. For the first year he seemed perfectly happy staying home. He had television, comfortable furniture, and all the quiet he thought he wanted. But little by little his world began shrinking. First he stopped going to the barber, then he stopped meeting friends for coffee. Eventually, entire weeks passed without him speaking to anyone face to face. When I visited him one afternoon, he looked at me and said something I'll never forget. "Henry, I don't think I'm lonely. I think I've just forgotten what being around people feels like." That sentence stayed with me, because isolation rarely announces itself. It creeps in quietly, disguised as comfort. The truth is, the human brain was never designed to spend day after day disconnected from the outside world. Even brief social interactions matter. A short conversation with a cashier, a walk through a busy park, a smile exchanged with a neighbor. These moments may seem insignificant, but they remind the brain that it still belongs to a living community. Now I make it a personal rule. Every day I find one reason to step outside. Some days it's a grocery run, some days it's a walk around the block, some days it's simply sitting on a bench and watching people pass by. The activity itself isn't the point, the connection is. Because once we stop participating in life, life slowly stops reaching back, and that's a dangerous place for anyone to be. There, emotionally exhausted first, constant stress, constant noise, constant worry about what might happen tomorrow. These small, Calming rituals protect the nervous system before anxiety has a chance to take over the entire day. And if you're finding value in this conversation, consider subscribing, because the next few habits may help you avoid one of the loneliest parts of aging, something most people don't see coming until they're already living through it. Now, let's talk about the third habit, and this one may determine whether a person remains independent or eventually relies on others for everyday tasks. Healthy older adults protect their muscle on purpose, not because they're chasing a perfect physique, because after 80, muscle becomes survival. A friend of mine named Walter learned this lesson the hard way at 81. He looked healthy enough from the outside, lean, well-groomed, and reasonably active, but one rainy afternoon outside a pharmacy, he slipped stepping off a curb and couldn't push himself back up. Later, he told me something that broke my heart. "Henry, that was the first time I realized my body couldn't save itself anymore. Weakness often humiliates people before it disables them." After 70, muscle naturally declines year after year. And when older adults live on toast, sugary snacks, processed foods, or skip meals altogether, that decline speeds up far more than most people realize. The loss happens quietly. Opening a jar becomes harder. Stairs feel taller. Getting out of a chair takes more effort than it used to. And then one day, even the people around you begin noticing. That's when it becomes impossible to ignore the older adults who stay strong into their 80s usually follow a simple rule: protein early in the day, eggs, Greek yogurt, nuts, beans, small, consistent choices that help rebuild and maintain strength, because strength after 80 isn't built through motivation, it's built through repetition. Every breakfast is either protecting your independence or quietly taking it away. Now here's the fourth habit, and this one surprised me when I finally understood it. People who age well keep using their hands every single day. They cook, they garden, they fold laundry, they write notes, they button shirts carefully instead of rushing through the task. These small physical actions activate powerful areas of the brain, responsible for coordination, memory, focus, and awareness. The problem is that motor inconvenience slowly removes these movements from our lives. Food arrives at the door, meals come pre-packaged, shoes slip on without effort, machines handle tasks we once did ourselves, and little by little, many older adults stop physically participating in daily life. They don't notice it happening, but the brain does. After Eleanor passed away, I almost stopped cooking altogether. Microwave meals, plastic forks, paper plates. One evening I realized I hadn't chopped a vegetable or written a single thing by hand in nearly 3 weeks. Life had become passive, and that's when I learned something important. The brain ages faster when life becomes too effortless. So I pushed myself back into simple physical routines: stirring a pot of soup, watering the plants, peeling apples, fixing small things around the house, and surprisingly, my mind began feeling sharper again, because movement isn't just exercise, it's participation. It keeps the brain connected to purpose. Now let's talk about the fifth habit, and honestly, this may be the most emotionally important one in the entire video. People who age well keep using their voice every single day. They greet people, they joke with the cashier at the grocery store, they read out loud, they hum songs while making dinner, even when they live alone. About a year after my wife died, I had a realization that genuinely scared me. One evening, I noticed I had barely spoken out loud for almost 2 full days. No phone calls, no visitors, no conversations, just silence. And that silence felt heavy, heavy in the house, heavy in my chest. Silence ages people faster than wrinkles ever will. Many older adults underestimate what isolation slowly does to the mind. The less we speak, the easier it becomes to drift away emotionally from the world around us. The people who remain vibrant as they age don't leave that to chance. They interrupt the silence on purpose. They greet neighbors. They talk to their pets. They laugh during small conversations. Tiny sounds, tiny moments, but incredibly powerful ones. because your voice is more than communication. It's proof that part of you is still reaching outward toward life. Before I share the final habit, make sure you're subscribed and turn on notifications. The next video may help you avoid another silent mistake that causes many older adults to lose their independence years earlier than necessary. Now let's finish with the sixth and final habit, and in many ways it may be the most important of all. People who stay mentally engaged after 80 always have something to look forward to. Not something huge, something small, a favorite. Breakfast, feeding the birds outside, calling a grandchild, a visit to a local bakery, watching football on Sunday afternoon. Small expectations, small pleasures, small reasons to keep moving toward tomorrow. Because the greatest danger of aging isn't only physical decline, it's emotional disengagement. Many people stop looking forward to life. Long before life actually ends, one of the brain's most important motivational chemicals, dopamine, becomes active when we anticipate something positive, and many older adults slowly lose that sense of anticipation without realizing it. Their days become repetitive, predictable, empty. The future begins shrinking emotionally before the body ever starts failing physically. But the people who age well protect anticipation carefully, because looking forward to something keeps the mind connected to tomorrow. So remember this, none of these habits are dramatic, and that's exactly why so many people overlook them, but repeat it day after day, year after year. They quietly shape the way we age. Morning light, warmth, strength, movement, conversation, anticipation, simple habits. Yet for many people over 80, they become the foundation of emotional, mental, and physical survival. I'm Henry. Thank you for spending this time with me, and I'll see you in the next video.